is one win away from clinching a spot in the Big West postseason and opens a 3-game midweek series against a CSUN squad in need of a sweep to have a chance at playing on. Isaiah Magdaleno will get the ball on short rest in Game 1, having claimed the last 2 Big West Pitcher of the Week awards and numerous national awards after his most recent gem at the Les. It's the final week of the regular season, and it comes with heavy stakes. It's the CSUN Matadors and the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors. And with that, we welcome you to Les Murakami Stadium, Kanoʻalehi, along with Cal Eldridge. Time now for the Hawaiian Financial FCU batting order for the CSUN Matadors. Ron Coleman, the center fielder, will be leading things off. Kyle Panganiban, the third baseman, will be batting second, followed by Matthew Thomas. He has been putting up monster numbers this year. Matthew Pena batting cleanup. Mateo Rickman, Colton Boardman, Trent Abel, Will Lindbergh, and Jaehee Lee rounding out the order. Defensively, here's the setup for Hawaii. Jake Redding, Josh Martin, Noah Rodriguez, Taylor Takata, Tate Shimao around the infield. From left to right, Draven Nushida, Kamana Nahaku, and Ben Ziegler-Namor. And on the mound, here he is, the reigning 2-time Big West Pitcher of the Week. Of course, 2 weeks ago, put together a one-hit shutout complete game. First complete game of the season for Hawaii pitching. And he recorded 16 strikeouts. Just the third Hawaii pitcher ever to do that. Received national honors all across the board. Right now, quite simply, one of the best hurlers in college ball. Isaiah Magdaleno. First pitch to Von Coleman. First pitch is a rip down the left field line, but foul.
Well, Max has a fastball, curveball, slider, and he's got an outstanding changeup. You know, he can throw up to 92, 93 miles an hour, but I think pretty much now he sits at 88 to 90.
This is a CSUN team that offensively has been one of the best in the conference. They lead the league in slugging percentage. This is also a CSUN offense that has hit 73 home runs this season. That's the most for the program since 2002. Ron Coleman has done his fair share of the damage, hitting .298, a 6-foot freshman from Claremont, California.
Looks like something's wrong with the communication system.
Yeah, you have Jake Redding walking over to get that looked at. Of course, all the teams now being allowed here over the last few years to utilize technology, their own various versions of the pitch communication system. And so some will be an earpiece like that. Oftentimes there's a little speaker that is put in the lining of the hat. And it can either be a voice signal, an automated voice signal, or it can even be, in some cases, we've seen coaches with good old walkie-talkies from the dugout. Swing and a miss there by Coleman.
You know, when you look at Magdaleno and just observe him as a pitcher, he just looks like a pitcher out there. I mean, his mannerisms, there's everything about him.
1-2 pitch. And able to lay off of that was Coleman. Yeah, that changeup has been devastating. And 2 weeks ago, when Magdaleno put in that 16 strikeout performance against UC Riverside, some of the Riverside hitters were saying he has 2 versions of the changeup. This is hit in the air to shallow center. And it'll be called for by Nahaku, and he makes the play. Good communication there. Yeah. Speaking of comms between Nahaku and Takata.
Yeah, excellent communication. Outfielder's got a better angle on the ball, so he allows him to catch the ball easier. Shortstop's got to be going away. Not so easy.
So that brings up Kyle Panganiban. Starting third baseman here for the Matadors. And he gets hit on his first pitch. So for Magdaleno, it is the 9th time that he has hit a batter. And for Panganiban, it is the 11th time he's been plunked.
Yeah, it's a curveball that got away from him, thumbed it a little bit.
And so here's Matthew Thomas. This is a guy who is very much Just all of the prototypical things of a big hitter. 6'3" junior from Garden Grove, California, hitting .350. That's tops on the team. Leads the team in hits and doubles and runs scored. Also slugging .711 here this season. He leads the Big West Conference in OPS, slugging percentage, and doubles, and he's tied for the Big West Conference lead in home runs. Hitting .361 in Big West play. .350 overall. And a check throw to first. Panganiban is a bit of a threat, 8 for 10 in stolen bases, but this is a CSUN team that you would never describe as being one that elects to play, at least too frequently, small ball as it's defined. They'll swing freely, as Thomas does right there, but it drifts into right, and Benziger-Namoa makes the squeeze for out number 2. So Matthew Thomas is retired. Now Matthew Pena stepping into the batter's box. 6-foot junior from Hollister, California. Matadors coming in 24 and 26 overall. They're 11 and 16 in the Big West Conference, entering the week in 8th place. Their postseason hopes are not fully pow yet. They need a lot of things to happen in order to get one of those spots. That's a grounder to short. Takata going to go the first. And he makes the throw for out number 3. So other than a plunked batter, clean inning for Isaiah Magdaleno. We head to the bottom of the first. Bo's bats coming up. Here's the Hawaii batting order. Kamana Nahaku leading things off, followed by Shimao, BZN, Manalau Kong, DHing and batting in the cleanup spot. Then it's Nishida, Redding, Takata, Rodriguez, and Martin. Here's the defensive setup for the Matadors. Lee behind home plate. Around the Hornets, Pena, Boardman, Abel, Panganiban, and then from left to right in the outfield, Thomas, Coleman, and Lingberg. And getting the start tonight for the Matadors is Gabriel Hernandez, 5'10", right-handed sophomore from Barstow, California, making his 14th start of the year, a 4-3 record, 5.61 earned run average. He has 44 strikeouts to just 12 walks here this season.
Don't have much on him. Didn't get much of an opportunity to talk to Coach Carnejo, so you know, just got to deal with what we have.
Kamana Nahaku will lead things off for Hawaii. It is the final week of the regular season. It is senior week. It's kind of a strange little quirk in the schedule here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday series. Things moved up a bit. We have the conference postseason tournament on the other side next week. The play-in game for that between the 4 and 5 seed, which would be a very likely spot for Hawaii if they do notch a win to qualify for the postseason. That'll be played on Wednesday, so a week from tonight.
Well, if any of these guys are returnees from CSUN from last year, I'm sure they're going to remember.
That's right.
What Kamana Nahaku did in that series.
Yeah, he went bananas against the Matadors in Northridge last year. Big swing there by Nahaku, comes up empty. 1-2 now to count. He's hitting .216 here overall for the year. 6 doubles, a couple of home runs, 13 runs batted in. He is leading the team in walks, and in times he has been hit. Team leader in stolen bases as well. That is a high bouncer over to third. Panganiban throws it away, and Nahaku is going to advance to second. And so a runner in scoring position just like that here in the bottom of the first.
Well, you know, you have to get rid of the ball quickly because Nahaku can scoot, but he just makes the bad throws. E5 on the throwing error.
Yeah, 10th error charge to Panganiban. And when talking, at least in the brief time that we did with head coach Eddie Cornejo, now in his 4th season, he said, hey, look, we're hitting the ball. That's kind of been in our DNA here in his time as head coach. He says, but there's just other things that tend to happen throughout a baseball game, and that's one of them. Just some defensive lapses and miscues. And now Tate Shimao with a runner in scoring position at the plate. And he hits it up the first base line. Fair ball. all the way into the corner it goes. Rounding third and scoring easy as Nahaku. Shimao stumbled as he was rounding first, is able to hustle back to the bag, so it becomes a long RBI single for Tate Shimao.
Yeah, he went around the corner, and he just slipped, planting that right foot as he was making the pivot to go to second base.
And he has been perhaps the hottest bat here in Big West play for Hawaii, hitting .330 in 27 conference games. And he gets his 25th run batted in, but there it was. Could have possibly been a double. Stumbled around first and had to scramble back to the bag, but now BZN up and takes that one down for a ball. So 1-0 just like that here. Hawaii, again, one win away from qualifying for the Big West Conference postseason, and then it's just a matter of seeding. There are a lot of scenarios that could play out, but some of them would have to be pretty extreme stuff for Hawaii to move all the way up into the number 3 seed position, which would allow them to avoid the play-in a week from tonight.
Well, it was kind of funny, because anybody that's ever coached, you'll know what I'm talking about when Coach Corneo said that, you know, like you were just saying, Kanoa, that they're playing pretty good.
Oh, this is ripped, and this will roll all the way to the left field wall. Rounding second and advancing to third is Shimao. He will hold up there. Another double for BZN. And Hawaii in big-time business here in the bottom of the first.
You know, a couple opposite field hits. Both pitches were on the outside corner of the relative batter with Shimao and also of BZN. And they went with it like they practice every day.
That's the 10th double of the season for Ziegler Namoa. And here's Mana Lau Kong. A 6'6" frosh. And swinging a good stick as of late as well.
And what I was saying was that Coach Corneo said, some days we look really good, and other days look like we have never played the game before. So again, if you've coached, you know what he's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. So a couple of guys in scoring position. Lau Kong batting .409 with runners in scoring position this year. And just misses for ball 1. So as mentioned, Hawaii with a victory would punch a ticket. They can move all the way up to third, but they would need to sweep this series, and then they would need UC San Diego to get swept by Cal State Fullerton this week. This is hit into the seats. Heads up. Now for CSUN, they need a series sweep here against Hawaii and would need UC Irvine to lose at least one game to Cal State Bakersfield. Any losses in this series and CSUN is eliminated from postseason contention. Here's the 1-2. And that is a bouncer up the first base line. Tough bounce. Pena handles it. And now the runner's going to try to coax him into something here. It is Shimao now getting caught in the pickle. You have BZN standing on the third base bag, and Shimao's going to get tagged out. Moving up to second is Mana Lau Kong. So an out, but relatively same situation now with runners at second and third.
Well, you know, some schools, some teams, they play it, and when the ball's hit and you're in third base, you're going to go anyway because it takes a good fielding and throwing play to get the guy out at home plate. And that's exactly what happened. They made the play.
So Lau Kong reaches on the fielder's choice. Shimao is tagged out on the 3-2-5 putout. And here's Draven Nushida. Nushida getting the start here for the 39th time this season, hitting .250, 3 doubles, a home run, 14 runs batted in. Hitting .299, just below 300 in Big West games. And 1 to count here. Where you see the Big West numbers for Nushida, 732 OPS. But a nice little table setting for him with runners at second and third. Takes that 88-mile-an-hour pitch outside for ball 2.
Hey, you remember a couple weeks ago I said Draven Nushida's great-great-uncle was the first Asian player to play a Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
His parents just gave me before the game a picture of Kenzo Nishida with Babe Ruth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
We have it right here. There you
There
go.
it is.
There is Babe. That is not Pal Eldridge second from the right. That is Babe Ruth.
And it's also Lou Gehrig on the left over there. Yeah.
And on the far right.
On the far right is
That's Kenzo Nishida.
How's that for the two guys?
That is unbelievable. I mean, what a crazy story. Kenzo Nishida, born in Honolulu, Hawaii, the first Japanese American to play professional baseball in the United States.
And he coached at Mid-Pacific, too.
And what is it, the great-great-uncle?
Great-great-uncle, yeah.
Here's now Draven Nishida carrying on the legacy, facing a 2-2 count. And this one may make it onto the roof. Oh, it does, with a thud. And so last time we were on the air, you had emptied the entire ocean floor of Pal's Pearls.
But I'm back.
And you have restocked?
I am back, yeah.
Okay.
Hideki Matsui, remember him?
Yeah.
He would never spit on the Yankee Stadium turf because it was sacred ground.
Really?
Yeah. Of course it is. I mean, sacred ground.
I mean, sacred ground, yeah. But to not spit at all as a ball player, that's extra respect. So Ziegler Namo at third, Manalau Kong at second. 3-2 pitch to Nishida, and he waves at it for strike three. So Nishida down on strikes for the 16th time here this season. For Hernandez, strikeout number 45. Actually, the team leader in that category. And despite having given up a couple of base hits here, single and a double, and a run here so far in this bottom of the first inning, Gabriel Hernandez, top 25 in the nation in walks per 9 innings pitch. This one hits the front facade. So that is not a roofer. It has to be on top of the roof, of course, to initiate the Pal's Pearl. Jake Redding, the batter. And that one misses for a ball. Jake Redding, 6'3" sophomore from Lincoln, California. Saw the numbers both overall and in conference play. He's hitting .228 for the season. 10 doubles, triple, home run. And this is hit in the air to right. This will have some carry to it, but it'll drift out of play. You know, he did record his first home run as a Rainbow last week on the road against UC Davis. That was in the series opening game. That was a 4-1 win for Hawaii. They would go on to lose the next two games to ultimately lose that series. But Redding able to rack up home run number one. That's got to feel good for the guy. One-two pitch coming. It is a bouncer foul left to third.
Okay, he and Manalau Kong are going to, was it La Crosse, Wisconsin, to play summer ball. It's kind of cool. You got a teammate. They go up there with you.
Well, both guys with some seriously bright futures. Just scratching the surface of their potential. 1-2 pitch. And that is ripped into right center, and that's going to be in for a hit. It will roll all the way to the wall. Scoring from third is BZN. Lau Kong right behind him. And a two-run double for Jake Redding. And Hawaii goes up 3-0.
Well, pitch is outside, and we saw other people go that way with the pitch, and he does that. You know, they work on this every single day, opposite field hitting, and it pays off.
Well, we have lamented the lack of run production for this Hawaii team throughout the year. 10th in the Big West in runs scored, 11th in runs batted in and slugging percentage. But that has started to change. Some of their offensive production has certainly shifted in the more positive direction here in recent weeks as Taylor Takata steps in. Hawaii hitting .276 over its last 22 games. So raising the overall team batting average there. They have double-figure hits in 13 of those 22 games and 6 or more runs in 10 of those games. So it is starting to come together. Now, keep in mind, Hawai'i has this back half of the regular season schedule gone up against a majority of the Big West teams that are in the bottom half of the standings. But to still be able to see the ball the way they have been and connect a little bit more frequently, that bodes well for a team that I think the last few years we've said it, right? Last year being the first conference postseason tournament opportunity, but a team that I don't think a lot of other squads in the Big West want to necessarily see, because it just feels like Hawai'i, they have a knack for playing some of its best ball in the month of May. You see some activity now in the Matador bullpen already. Adam Christopher and Charles Rogers, a couple of righties getting hot. So Taylor Takata, who has been filling in admirably for Elijah Iquez.
Yeah, he's done a great job at shortstop. That's for sure.
Yeah, Iquez has been out since early April, but we are told by Rich Hill that Iquez is on the verge of getting cleared possibly to fully play, and that he is available here this week in possible pinch run or even defensive situations. Might not be ready to swing the bat fully yet, but that clearance is imminent, we are told. So that could be another boost here for this Hawai'i team to welcome Elijah Iquez back to the mix. But again, I don't think it can be overstated what Taylor Takata has done under tough circumstances, taking over as the primary shortstop, hitting .315 in Big West play. Hits this one into the air to left, and Thomas tracks it down for out number 3. But some damage done as Hawai'i scores 3 runs on 3 hits, helped along by an error by the third baseman Kyle Hanganiban. 3 standing. So here we are, Hawai'i and Cal State Fullerton tied for that 4th position. Hawai'i does own the tiebreaker, having won 2 of 3 against Cal State Fullerton. So they just need one more win, and they are in. And then it's just a matter of exactly what seed they're going to be. They can move up as high as number 3, but UC San Diego is going to have to get swept by Fullerton for that to happen, and Hawai'i is going to have to go on and sweep this series as well. All right, let's go inside the numbers presented by Long's Drugs. How about 0.41? That's Isaiah Magdaleno's whip. Walks and hits per inning pitched over his last 2 starts. 17 innings, 5 hits, 2 walks. Oh, by the way, just 1 run allowed and 25 strikeouts. Here's Mateo Rickman stepping in against Mags. I mean, this is a hot streak that is, the only way really to describe it is Tatsuno-esque, right?
Well, speaking of Tatsuno, he was down in the lobby just now. I think he's going to be signing some autographs.
Yeah, it's an alumni autograph night here at the ballpark.
And he got a hole-in-one last week.
Oh, really?
You know, of all the golf that he's played, I said, how many have you got? He goes, 1.
It was his first hole-in-one?
Yeah, good to see him. It's always good to see him.
Wow. Is there anything that guy can't do? That becomes the question.
College Hall of Fame, 2007.
Big cut there by Rickman, a 6'2" freshman from Torrance, California, out of Torrance High School. All-State and 2-time Daily Breeze Player of the Year. Won a couple of league titles over there. Hitting .317 on the year, but he swings and misses at that one. And Mags has his first strikeout of the night. And that is number 99 here on the season for Isaiah Magdaleno.
You know, real interest going to be coming up in the summer draft. You know, we've talked about this a few times over the course of this year. You know, does Magdaleno get drafted? Yeah, that's a big question.
Colton Boardman, another underclassman here in the lineup for CSUN, takes a strike. 5'9" sophomore from Las Vegas out of Bishop Gorman High School. Very recognizable school name there. A lot of UH football players coming from Bishop Gorman. Boardman hitting .307, 8 doubles, 2 triples, 12 runs batted in. Shows bunt, tries to lay it down, and now faces an 0-2 count. Yeah, I think the only question about Magdaleno, that changeup is big league for sure. It really comes down to the velocity.
Well, see, you know, I come from the old school of scouting too. I mean, radar guns just started coming into vogue when you know, about the middle of my scouting career. And we used to get guys over here. They come with the stopwatch. Guys like Eddie Crosby and Marty Keough, and these guys were ball players. And they'd come and they'd watch a guy like Magdaleno, and sure, they'd sign him. And the reason is he gets people out.
This one skied to shallow right, and BZN had to wait a while for that one to come down. Squeezes it for out number 2.
See, I've always thought that the pitcher's job is to get people out. So he throws 98 or he throws 80, it doesn't matter, as long as he can get people out. And that's what Isaiah Magdaleno does. So if I was a scout for somewhere or a general manager, I'd draft this guy. Of course, I don't want to see him get drafted because I want to see him come back next year.
That would also be nice, yeah, from the Hawaii fan perspective. That's for sure. Here's Trent Abel. Showing bunt, unable to put it down.
If you look at CSUN's caps and uniforms, they have, you see Valley and then the V on the top. They used to be San Fernando Valley State, and they want to get back to it instead of CSUN. And I told you the story about when they became CSUN, and they told us we can't. They would appreciate it if we did not call them Cal State.
Yeah, that was a
Northridge.
rebranding that occurred a little while back.
So of course, when they told Dad and I that, what we did is we called them Cal State Northridge all night.
Of course.
Of course.
Ever the contrarians, you and Pops. Swing and a miss, 1-2 now the count here to Trent Abel, 5'11" junior from San Diego, California, hitting .272 on the year, slugging .403. 1-2 pitch, swung on and missed, strike 3. And Isaiah Magdaleno has hit the century mark in strikeouts this season. Right here in his go-to. Let's go back inside the numbers. 12 seasons since Hawaii's last 100-plus strikeout pitcher. Talking about strikeouts in a season, it was Matt Cooper in 2014. 106 strikeouts in 106 2/3 innings, while Isaiah Magdaleno has just recorded strikeout number 100 and has pitched 82 innings here this season. He is on one right now, having won back-to-back Big West Conference Pitcher of the Week honors. Of course, the national recognition that came his way a couple of weeks ago after that 16 strikeout performance. And this is as good as he has been in his career. Here's Noah Rodriguez, starting second baseman for Hawaii. Jumping ahead in the count, 2-0 here against Gabriel Hernandez. Rodriguez getting a little more run here in recent weeks. Hitting .245 overall. A couple of doubles, 5 runs batted in. Has scored 7 times. So it's that one right down the middle for a strike. Rodriguez, who comes to Manoa after playing 1 season at Mount San Antonio College in California. Hit .387 there. And prior to that, spent a couple of years at UNLV. Actually redshirted his second year there in 2024. Played in 24 games for the Rebels in that 2023 campaign. And he takes ball 4. So leadoff batter once again aboard. Kamana Nahaku reached by way of an error in the first inning. Came around to score. Now Rodriguez on board with the walk. And as mentioned, that is a rarity for Hernandez. 23rd nationally, 1.6 walks per 9 innings pitched. So just his 13th walk issued this year. And it is drawn by Noah Rodriguez. Here's the bottom of the lineup. It is Josh Martin getting the start at first base here this evening. 6'1" junior from Novato, California. He's batting .236, 17 of 72 with a double, a home run, 7 runs batted in. See what he's done, though, in Big West Conference play. Uptick in the average there, .311 with 780 OPS. And he gets the barrel on this one, but drives it right at the center fielder, Coleman, for the out. So back to the top of the order we go, and Kamana Nahaku coming back up to the plate. Hawaii already up 3-0. They scored 3 runs on 3 hits in the first. Nahaku reached on an error by the third baseman, Kyle Panganiban, and got things started. Tate Shimao followed up with an RBI single that scored Nahaku. Then Ben Ziegler-Naumua doubled. He and Manalao Kong would score on the 2-run double later in the inning by Jake Reddick. Hawaii 25 and 21 overall. We showed you the Big West standings. 14 and 13 in lead. To clear the first. Oh, and they had Rodriguez leaning for a hot second. A rare Wednesday night to open a series in conference play for Hawaii here at the Les. This one might make the roof, might make it over the roof, actually. And it does.
So graduation on Saturday, huh?
Yeah, so things moving up. Of course, you have the conference tournament next week at Irvine. And then, of course, graduation here on the Manoa campus Saturday. So that moved things up even further. And this one is skied into shallow center. It's going to be, who's it going to be? It's the center fielder Coleman at the very last moment who comes in and makes the play.
Well, the wind is pretty strong, too. So I was going to say earlier in the first inning that I wouldn't be surprised if some balls had wind blown and make it more difficult for the fielders to catch.
And blowing from left field to right field, per tradition here in Manoa. As Tate Shimao comes back up, RBI single his first time up. How good has this guy been here in Big West play? After getting off to a slow start offensively, there was so much expectation put on this guy. Rich Hill saying that he was the MVP of the fall. It just took a little while for him to rev that engine here once the season started, but he's done it. 1-1 the count. Shimao, the 6-foot junior from Honolulu, Hawaii, transferring back home after spending some time at Cal Poly. Spent 2 years there with the Mustangs program, and then sat out the 2025 year. Of course, a former Iolani Raider, played baseball as well as football, was a quarterback for the Raiders. Transferred up to the West Coast, though, played his senior year at Rancho Cucamonga High School in California. 1-1 pitch to Shimao, and misses for a ball. He's the team leader in doubles, almost had another one, but he stumbled around first base that last time he was up. Had to settle for a single. Also the team leader in runs scored here this year. Takes that one in the zone for strike 2. So Deuce is wild here in the second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Noah Rodriguez at first. Hernandez with the exhale. And that one gets away from the catcher Lee.
Well, we can see this sequence. I mean, it was really good base running by Rodriguez. You can read the ball in the dirt and just take a secondary lead. But as soon as that ball hit the dirt, Rodriguez is gone. And that's an excellent job of base running right there.
Now an opportunity for Shimao with a runner in scoring position. Following the wild pitch, Rodriguez to his lead at second. And Shimao lays off of it. It's ball 4. It gets away from the catcher Lee, though, which allows Rodriguez to move up to third. And how about 2 walks in this inning for Gabriel Hernandez, a guy who had only walked 12 batters all season. And now runners at the corners, and you have Ben Ziegler-Naumua, who ripped a double his last time up in the first.
Well, by the way, I think this brought to my attention that this pitcher also is like in the same situation as Magdaleno. He's going on a couple of days short rest.
So Rodriguez moving up to third on the pass ball. I do want to talk to you about that because that was a challenge for these coaches in the decision-making process.
Yeah.
Certainly Rich Hill had to go back and forth on whether to give the ball to Maggs or not. This one is ripped on a line to center. Coleman over to make the squeeze for route number 3. We'll get to that when we come back. We played 2 full. It's Hawaii up 3-0. They shran 2 in the bottom of the second. Is that evening sky. Don't miss a second of the action. Watch Spectrum Sports on the go. The Spectrum News app has the local sports you love and the news and weather that matter most to you. Download today on the App Store or Google Play. A gorgeous evening here, albeit a bit breezy at Les Murakami Stadium. Final regular season series for both these teams. As you take a look at the head coach for CSUN, Eddie Cornejo, in his 4th year running the program. Was previously an associate head coach and assistant under Dave Serrano. So joined the CSUN program in 2020. He has been a guy who has made quite a reputation for himself as a recruiter, nationally recognized, in fact. Was previously the recruiting coordinator at San Jose State and UC Santa Barbara. Was listed as the top recruiter in the Big West Conference according to D1 Baseball back in 2016. And he has brought in some bats, that's for sure.
Yeah, it is.
To this program. They have perennially been one of the top offensive teams in the league here over the time of Eddie Cornejo's tenure. And once again, they're right there. Here's Will Lindbergh, 6'2" senior from Sacramento, California, hitting from the left side against Isaiah Magdaleno, and fouls this one off of the front facade of the roof.
You know that if this works out for Hawaii and Magdaleno, then he's back to 7 days rest. I mean, his next start will be Wednesday in California. Likely
the Hawaii will be a participant in that play-in game as another swing and a miss and another strikeout. That's number 3 here for Magdaleno. And so, yeah, you're talking about Wednesday night here. He goes on somewhat shorter rest, 2 days earlier than what would be the norm. But you're back to that regular cadence of 7 days if Hawaii is playing in that play-in game, and most definitely you would have to go with your ace pitcher in that scenario in a must-win play-in between the 4th and 5th seeds. And so Isaiah Magdaleno would be back to his normal rhythm there. Here is Jae-hee Lee.
And if they play Fullerton,
it is ripped on a line to right, so first pitch swinging. Jae-hee Lee is retired.
And if they play Fullerton, you know who they're going to get, right?
Oh yeah.
Grady, he was good last year, I remember. But yeah, that's the thing about going to, you give Magdaleno another shot, another extra day's rest, and he's back to his normal rotation. Yeah, how about that for a play-in matchup of pitchers? You have potentially Isaiah Magdaleno and Micaiah Negretti for Cal State Fullerton. I mean, that would be a clash of titans there. Back to the top of the order we go, and Vaughn Coleman flew out to center to lead this game off. It was interesting. We talked with Rich Hill, right? I mean, that was the question. Do you go with Maggs? Do you give him the ball on short rest here? 1 win away, starting a 3-game series from punching the ticket to the postseason. And Rich Hill asked you on our call with him the other day. It was hilarious. He said, hey, pal, what would you do? Here's the 0-1. What was your thought process here? I mean, just putting on your coaching cap. If you're in that position of Rich Hill, what are the things that determine this decision for you? Well, you dance with the one that brung it, right? I mean, if he's the #1 guy, he's your alpha pitcher, you got to go with him. I mean, I don't think there was any big decision at all for me, but that's just me, right? I mean, I was a high school coach. Oh, doesn't get the call there. Tried to paint that inner edge. How much are you putting on the communication with your pitcher and asking him, hey, look, do you want it? Yeah. Here's the 1-2. And they're going to have to complete the strikeout up the line. They do. And so strikeout number 4 for Maggs. Alpha indeed. They hand him the ball, and he's delivering. 3-0 Bows. Welcome back. So Isaiah Magdaleno gets the ball here to open this series. He's got some family in the house. To the left with the purple flower, that is his mom, Myrna. His dad, Anthony, is sitting to the far right there in that row.
And they have to like what they have been saying. They also have Uncle Canto, Auntie Carla, cousins Annalise and Angelina.
Well, they all look like local people to me.
Yeah, girlfriend Ava is in the house. And so Mags delivering here so far for Hawaii on the mound, and Manalau Kong ripping a ground ball here at the plate and goes right to the second baseman Boardman, who makes the play.
And that was hit.
That was smoked.
That's a sound that I'm not familiar with.
So getting back to Isaiah Magdaleno, though, how much weight do you put on what he communicates to you? I mean, obviously, you're going to ask your guy, your horse, hey, look, do you want the ball? Can you handle the rock here in a situation like this? How much do you weigh on that?
See, if you have a good relationship with your pitchers or players, you know, then you trust them, they trust you. So you ask him the question, he comes back with, I can do it, coach, I want the ball. You got to go with it. I mean, that's just no question about it.
Draven Yoshida takes a strike. And that's also where the familiarity comes into play, right? And this isn't a first-year guy. This is a guy who's been with the program now for a little bit. And so, of course, the kind of personality Isaiah Magdaleno has proven to have, he's going to say he wants the ball. And then as a coach, you kind of have to also take a step back and think, all right, you know, do I need to, under these circumstances, protect my guy from himself, or how much do I trust in him based on the equity that he has built in this relationship and over the course of our communication? So it was fascinating to me to kind of hear Rich Hill and how he went back and forth on the decision of exactly what to do in this early week scenario where you have a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday series. Rich Hill in year number 5. They've been really good in the month of May under head coach Rich Hill. This is a program that, coming into tonight, has put together a 39-20 record in the month of May under coach. And that is a softer ground ball to Boardman. Vacuums it up, makes the throw for out number 2. I mean, we were even hearing from Coach Hill in our chat with him earlier in the week. He said, hey, look, I don't necessarily leave out the option of maybe not starting Magdaleno and bringing him out of the bullpen in this scenario. And so everything's on the table. I mean, that's Rich Hill, right? He'll think out of the box on many baseball items. But the fact that he had all of that on the table here was really interesting to hear. Here's Jake Redding.
You know, and it would put Magdaleno, if he did come in relief, back where he was last year.
Yeah.
And the only problem is, what if it got out of hand real early? And I mean, out of hand meaning by several runs. And then he'd be kind of wasted.
This is a bouncer. This is going to get through. Infield was shaded over as Boardman was lined up closer to second base. And so Redding goes the opposite way. It's his second hit of the game.
You know, when I look at Redding and I look at his batting average, I think, gee, that fools me, because he seems to be coming up clutch all the time.
So had the 2-run double in the first, did Jake Redding. Now the single with 2 outs here in the third. Taylor Takata steps in. This is fouled straight back. And I do think that was part of the thinking being applied by Rich Hill. If he was going to bring Magdaleno out of the pen, he almost gives himself that latitude, right? That leeway of, if it does get out of hand, then we don't necessarily have to use him. And then we end up preserving him one more day, giving him that extra day of rest anyway. But, you know, you also want to get that win out of the way and know about your postseason circumstances.
And know it early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Takata flew out to left his first time up. 12-1 now the count. Takata out of Kailua High School. Got to Coast College, where he spent a couple of years. And takes that one for strike 2. He thought it was ball 4, had a notion there. But home plate umpire Christopher Torres held him in that box with the called strike 2.
Contacts.
Yeah. So here we go. Payoff pitch. 2 outs. Bottom of the 3rd. Hawaii up 3-0. And this is hit in the air down the left field line. Long run here for Thomas in foul territory. Gets underneath it. And a runner is stranded for Hawaii in the bottom of the 3rd. They still lead 3-0 after 3. Welcome back. We'll be back here tomorrow night. It'll be game 2 of this 3-game set between Hawaii and CSUN. Our coverage on Spectrum Sports will begin at 6 p.m. Kind of an odd week for us, wouldn't you say, here with Spectrum Sports. This is the final week of broadcast here for this athletic season. And I don't think we are breaking any news here that UH is in negotiation with another media entity for the future local television rights deal. And so this is ostensibly the final week of Spectrum Sports broadcasting University of Hawaii games to the masses. So it is certainly a bittersweet and very strange experience, I think, for many of us who have been affiliated with these broadcasts. It has most certainly been an honor to be a part of it and to work with so many fantastic people, and something that we'll probably talk a little bit more about as we get closer to Friday.
Yeah.
Niban lays down the bunt. What a play from 3rd by Shimao.
You know, a play like this, you have to get rid of the ball in 2 steps. Watch. 1, 2, rid of the ball. Great play. You bet.
So that brings up Matthew Thomas. He flew out to right his first time up.
Well, you know,
strike 1 there.
I'm sorry. I'm talking to Coach Hill. The stat that kind of, or the fact, I mean, that kind of flew me was 17 seniors on this Hawaii team. I can't remember a team having that many seniors.
0-2 now the count here to Thomas. Yeah, Rich Hill telling us this is the most he's had in a senior class in his coaching career, and this is a head coaching career that goes back to when he was 24 years old and got his first head coaching gig. That was when he was first hired at Cal Lutheran. And so, yeah, that's an awful lot. Of course, you have a couple of guys who were honored on senior day last year in Ben Ziegler, Namoa, and Kamana Nahaku. That one misses downstairs for ball 2.
You know, Magdaleno's changeup, I said in our opening, was that it's a terrific pitch. Well, it is, you know, and a changeup, it isn't a slow arm action that gets it. It's a regular arm action, but your grip decides on whether the ball comes out slow or not.
2-2, and just laying off of that one is Thomas, not biting.
So most pitchers nowadays throw the circle change. You know, so they're really releasing the ball with their middle finger, ring finger, and the little finger of their right hand. And that's how you get the same motion, but everything's a little slower.
3-2, swung on and missed. Strike 3. Thomas goes down swinging. And that is strikeout number 5 here in this game for Isaiah Magdaleno. I mean, that is one of the more remarkable things about this changeup. by Mags is everyone in the ballpark knows it's coming, and nobody can hit it anyway.
You know, that reminds me of McCooley softball. Some guys are so good at throwing a changeup because, hey, it's coming right now, throw a changeup, and you can't hit it. You just can't.
Here's Matthew Pena, rounded out to short his first time up. Big hack there, an 88-mile-an-hour offering.
So, you know, last year, see, he was 90-92 when he was a relief pitcher. But again, you can't. You get out there, you can let it all out, right? As a starter, maybe you got to get back a little bit and pace yourself a little more.
Pulls the string again. I mean, he is dialed.
Yeah, he sure is.
And what certainly has set him apart here in the last couple of weeks, he has gotten that curveball over. And when he has that working in addition to the change, good luck. Strikeout number 6. The Mags Ohana. They're drinking it in. And Isaiah Magdaleno is doing the thing again. Welcome back. Isaiah Magdaleno has thrown 40 pitches, 29 of them strikes. And he has helped his team to a 3-0 advantage here as we head into the bottom of the 4th. 6 strikeouts for Mags.
You like that. You saw him there with the hoodie on and focusing just by himself.
There's Noah Rodriguez. And he lines this one into right, and it'll drop in for a leadoff single for the second inning. Noah Rodriguez leads things off by getting aboard.
Well, this brings up the bunt possibility. It's only in the 4th inning, and you're up by 3. And you got your number 9 hitter up. Maybe a time for a sacrifice bunt here.
It's Josh Martin. He flew out to center in the second inning. You see the numbers: 3 runs and 5 hits for Hawaii against Gabriel Hernandez, who continues on the mound. Martin showing bunt, takes it over the plate for a strike. CSUN will be hoping to turn 2 here, possibly. Actually entering the week 6th in the nation with 49 double plays turned. This is lined into right, and Lindbergh diving catch.
Boy.
Oh, the stretch fetch in right. And that could have been big-time problems for the Matadors, but Lindbergh doing the deed.
That's a big-time play right there. You know, laying out flat like that. Nice catch, young man.
So Lindbergh, who had a good offensive game against Hawaii last year, had a 2-double, 2-run batted in offensive game, but showing off the defensive glove work there on that occasion. Kamana Nahaku, top of the order, back up here for Hawaii. 1 on, 1 out, bottom of the 4th. Crowd starting to fill in a little bit more here. Maybe a little late arriving. Some of them may have participated in the national championship rally over the arena, which started around 6 o'clock. We had a lot of fans there, and an opportunity to get a photo op with the trophy, some of the players, get some autographs, the whole 9. Celebration is on as Charlie Wade and that Rainbow Warrior volleyball program, they do it again. They get another national title in Los Angeles on Monday. The 3rd national title in the last 6 years for that program. Just an astounding level of success. The 2-1 pitch here to Nahaku, shows bunt. Takes it out of the zone for ball 3. And here's a look at the team arriving back in Manoa with the hardware. Louis Sakanoko, who was named the most outstanding player of the Final 4. pitch just misses for ball 4. That was yesterday when they arrived. Make that Tuesday, I should say. Well, that was yesterday. Excuse me. Yeah, this series going Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is messing me up big time. But yeah, that was yesterday, and then they had the rally here this evening, which somewhat coincided with the start of this ball game. How about another walk issued by Hernandez, and so maybe showing the effects himself of the short rest time. Different cadence here for these night 1 starters. Having a little bit more of an issue with command, at least by comparison to what he has shown for most of this season, at least with his walk numbers. Quick visit out to the mound. A bit of a smile there on the face of Gabriel Hernandez, and they will continue on.
Yeah, I see with a guy like Shimao up here, who's been putting the ball in play really well. We have seen Coach Hill put on a hit and run here with runners at first and second. Shimao guy can handle a bat, batting in the second hole, and that'd be a bad idea.
So a quick visit out there for the pitching coach, Paul Clausen. How about that play at third by Panganiban? Throws across the diamond for the out. And that was just remarkable. Kyle Panganiban. What was a fantastic on third. Going across the diamond. It might be an argument of whether or not
Hawaii is trying
was
to
still
ruling on
on
the
the
field.
bag
Further
there
plays
by the
under
first
review.
baseman Matthew Pena.
Well, Jordan Tuhig, the base coach over there, said right away, they he went off the base. So we shall see.
So Shimao will stand on the first base bag. Nahaku will remain at second for the time being. I mean, even if this does get reversed, I don't think it takes away from what was just an outstanding effort by Panganiban.
And that's the same guy that made that bad play in the first inning, right?
That's right. So I think may have atoned at least slightly for that error to start that bottom of the first inning.
Well, 2 things about that play. First is how quick he was, the reflexes to make the original grab. Because then he touches the bag, and the arm that he showed going across was a big-time arm.
Now, was the foot still on the bag here, though? That's what they're going to look at.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
It is.
Yeah, this should be a pretty quick review based on that angle. And we talked about the double plays for this CSUN defense. Again, I mean, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride. Coach Cornejo said as much when we spoke with him prior to the game briefly. He says, there'll be innings where we look like world beaters against some really quality opponents. There'll be some other innings and some other nights where it doesn't look like we know what we're doing. But if this stands as a double play, it will be the 50th double play turned by this Matador D. And here they come. Let's listen to the verdict here.
After review, the call of the field is out is confirmed. Hawaii is charged 1 timeout. They have 1 remaining.
So that ends the Hawaii thread. You had that fine catch and right by Lindbergh earlier in the inning. Then you had that fantastic play at the hot corner by Panganiban. We've played 3-0 Bows.
University of Hawaii Sports on Spectrum Sports.
It's a Permanente K count. Mags starting to string them together again. Through 4 innings, he has 6 strikeouts recorded. He has surpassed 100 for the season. As we mentioned, he is the first Hawaii pitcher since 2014. And Matt Cooper to record 100 or more strikeouts in a year. And entered the game with 98, so he is now up to 104 and pitching on short rest. And to this point, yet to really show the effects of that. Now facing Mateo Rickman, the DH, who struck out his first time up. CSUN coming into this series having lost 6 straight and 10 of their last 12. That's a bouncer to third. That's going to be a foul ball.
When you hear people discuss the changeup, they talk about changing the eye level of the batter. And what that means is you have the batter start out early because then his eye level will drop a little bit. And that's what they mean by that. And that's what Magdaleno's so good at doing. Getting everybody out on their front foot.
What does he bring here on 0-2? Yeah, we mentioned UC Riverside, some of its hitters were commenting that it seemed like Magdaleno had sort of 2 versions of his changeup, and when asked about it, Mag said, yeah, it's kind of a location thing. I like to throw a certain variation of the change a little higher in the zone earlier in the count in most instances. And then, of course, the knockout, the one that drops down out of the zone. Here's the 0-2. Oh, boy, look out.
Well, not too bad of a crowd here for a Wednesday night, a school night.
Yeah. He got the ball. I think everyone's still trying to figure out exactly how he did. One and 2 now the count here to Rickman. And this is for ball 2, 2-2. Rickman's uncle Jason Verdugo played in the Giants organization. He used to wear number 34 prior to coming to CSUN. That was because he was a big David Ortiz fan. Now wearing number 10, though, here is a true Frosh. .475 slugging percentage. Pretty impressive for a Froshy. And now a 3-2 pitch. And how about this battle here between Mags and Rickman? So you look at Magdaleno, and that's now, and it's amazing when you add up all of the innings that he has pitched. That is now 21 innings pitched over his last 2+ starts. And he has racked up 31 strikeouts.
Well, here comes a changeup, I think, next, right here. Guys swinging and fouling things off. It's a good indication that the changeup should be coming his way.
And this is hit through into right. And Rickman wins a long tussle with Isaiah Magdaleno. And he records the first hit for CSUN.
Well, the pitch is up and it's right down the middle. You don't see Magdaleno throw too many of those in the course of the game.
See how pumped up Rickman is. It hasn't been easy to get any hits off of Isaiah Magdaleno here the last few weeks. Now Colton Boardman lay down the bunt, unable to do so.
You ever notice that no matter what sport, when a guy does something good, he celebrates, and the 2 words he says are, "Let's go."
Let's go.
Yeah.
Sometimes
every time.
Sometimes, I'm not a professional lip reader or anything, but sometimes there is a little bit more flavor added where it's a let's blank and go.
I understand that.
And up the line, Martin able to field it and returns to Rodriguez covering the bag. Rickman moves up, so the sack bunt works there for Boardman.
That's a standard sacrifice bunt coverage. Runner at first base, a bunt to the first baseman because he's got to hold the runner on. And the second baseman covers the bag as the first baseman comes in, along with the pitcher.
So here's Trent Abel, another strikeout victim. His first time up, that ended things in the second. But now a runner in scoring position here for the Matadors, and this is hit in the air to left center. It'll be Nahaku over, making the catch, and holding at second base is Rickman.
One of the most underrated things about Kamana Nahaku is his ability to throw. We've mentioned it several times in our broadcast. Look at that one just then. When he caught the ball and threw a rifle shot to the shortstop. Watch how good this throw is.
Yeah, no kidding. So 2 outs now in the inning. We're in the top of the 5th. Will Lindbergh had a tremendous diving catch in the bottom of the 4th. Now steps in, hitting from the left side. And misses for a ball. Four-man umpiring crew here this evening. You got Christopher Torres, who's calling the balls and strikes. Eduardo Ruiz, first base umpire. Brad Hungerford at second. And Bill Nazarek, the third base umpire. And a visit out to the mound here from Rich Hill.
Yeah, this is just a talk story. Nobody's in the bullpen warming up. You know, I was kind of wondering why. I always like to try to figure out what is the coach going to say in a situation like this.
Obviously, with Isaiah Magdaleno pitching on shorter rest, I think there is a likelihood that Rich Hill will be taking a closer look at the pitch count here this evening. 53 total pitches so far for Mags, 39 strikes. And again, not a professional lip reader, but looked like he said something to the effect of, "I feel good."
Shouldn't that be "I feel well"? The James Brown song.
That's right, the classic James Brown hit, "I Feel Good." You could make the argument that the more grammatically correct rendition of it would be "I Feel Well," but it wouldn't hit the same way. For a second there, and diving back is Rickman. Here's the 2-0. Pitch, swung and a miss, strike 2. It has, though, because Pops, I think, was the first to really point out, right, the "I feel well" versus "I feel good." And
that's right.
You can make the argument, but I think it has now become accepted that "I feel good" can refer to, like if you're talking about like happiness or joy. "I feel well," a little bit more of a physical health description. And a 2-2 pitch, just missing.
You know, you're playing ball, and a guy says, "How do you feel?" You're not going to say, "Oh, I feel well." You're going to say, "I feel good, man.
I feel good, coach." Yeah. Another full count here. With 2 outs, top of the 5th. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. There it was again. The changeup that is a game changer. And Rickman is stranded at second base. 3-0. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the Pizza Hut game summary. Jake Redding 2 for 2 with a double, a single, and a couple of runs batted in. And Isaiah Magdaleno doing Isaiah Magdaleno things through 5 innings pitched. Has given up just 1 hit. And that didn't take place until the top of the 5th. No runs, no walks, 7 strikeouts. So we head to the bottom of the 5th, and Ben Ziegler-Namoa will lead things off for Hawaii. Facing Gabriel Hernandez, who himself has settled down after giving up 3 runs on 3 hits in the first. First offering to BZN. There's a called strike. Ziegler-Namoa 1 for 2 with a double, run scored, and a flyout.
I remember a year ago talking about Ben and whether he was going to come back or not. And I was totally in favor of it. So I'm really glad he did. He's had himself a decent year. He's just one of the team leaders, which is something that a team always needs.
Well, he has been quite an ambassador for this program. He has been a quintessential Rainbow Warrior baseball player.
Plus, he's a Lahaina boy.
That's right. You got to love that.
Yep. Do. Because I am too.
Puts this in the air to left. Back goes Thomas. And with the wind blowing in, knocks it down just a tad. And Thomas, playing a good left field here tonight, makes the squeeze. So Gabriel Hernandez, again, settling down. It should also be stated, 3 runs on 3 hits in the first, but none of those runs were earned because you had that inning opening error committed by the third baseman, Kyle Panganiban, who definitely made up for it, at least to some degree, with a fantastic double play to end the 4th. Mana Lau Kong now the batter. Misses for a ball.
Well, you know, Lau Kong has come along with the bat. No question about it. Now he's got to find himself a position this summer. Maybe he'll be a first baseman. I mean, look at the size of the guy. One of the things, you know, you like to have a first baseman that's pretty big. When you're a shortstop or third baseman, you look across and you see a guy that's 5'6" or 7", and then you got a 6'5", is a big difference. So I always like to have a taller first baseman there.
And it is a bouncer to short. Abel off of the short hop is able to still make the exchange and throw. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. And that's going to bring up Draven Nushida. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Keiki PA announcers here at this juncture of the ball game, making the announcement of Draven Nushida coming up. That's a great addition to the atmosphere here at the Les. They do some really cool stuff with the fan interaction. To Nushida. Both coaches benefiting from these starters going out there on short rest and giving them a little bit of an extended run here so far. This could make it onto the roof. It does.
It does.
And so it's time for another Pal's Pearl.
And I got him. Babe Ruth used to put chilled cabbage leaves under his cap during games when it was hot.
Really?
Yeah.
And there is the picture we showed with the Babe second from the right.
And Luke Gehrig.
Luke Gehrig second
Iron
from
Horse.
the left. And to the far right, Kenso Nushida, the great uncle of Draven Nushida, who hits this one in the air to shallow center. Coleman loses the hat along the way. So it makes the play. So Hawaii 3 up, 3 down in the bottom of the 5th. We have played 5 full. 3-0 Rainbow Warriors. Tonight's Hyundai head-to-head stat line. We're looking at total pitches and also the balls to strike ratio. 37 to 47, 84 total pitches for CSUN starter Gabriel Hernandez. For Isaiah Magdaleno, 59 pitches, 42 strikes, and 17 balls. So we head to the 6th. Mags putting together another quality effort here this evening. Gave up just 1 hit so far. That came in the 5th. 7 strikeouts. And now facing Jae-hee Lee, the bottom of the CSUN order. Flew out to right his first time up. And that's over for strike 1. A lot has been said, as it looks like Jake Redding might have to tend once again to that pitch calm.
Well, Keith Zuniga, the pitching coach, is who calls the pitches. You know, when you do call pitches, whether you're a coach or even if you're a player, just don't get yourself into a pattern. Fastball, fastball, you get 2 strikes, curveball. You know, that used to be the case. Young kids like to do that a lot. You cannot establish a pattern. You got to change it all the time. So you cannot be predictable in what's coming.
Yeah, it might be just trying to sort of tape down the earpiece wire or something that's attached to it. It looked like they're busting out some tape there, just trying to keep that stuff attached. But you mentioned Keith Zuniga. I think certainly a guy who deserves a ton of credit for the numbers that this pitching staff is putting up this year. I mean, Hawaii, one of 4 teams currently in the top 20 in ERA to finish top 20 in ERA each of the last 2 years. They're doing it again. They entered the week 8th in Division I in team ERA. And it's even better at home. They're 3.56 overall team ERA, 2.82 at home. And I think you can also throw in the director of pitching development, Connor Harrison.
Well, he was a pretty fine left-handed pitcher himself. And next year, you know, Hawaii's recruiting some of the local kids. And that's going to be good to see.
And speaking of local kids, the state baseball tournament going down this past week. I'm going to say that Lee went around there, so 2-2 the count. Mililani defeating Pac-5 1-0. What a game that was for Mililani's first title. Koa Marzo with the walk-off base hit. And a title for head coach Mark Hirayama. And another strikeout, meanwhile, for Isaiah Magdaleno. That's number 8.
One of my dear friends. Of course, he coached with me at Punahou for 8 years. Just does a great job out there at with the Trojans. So good to see him get a championship.
Yeah, so they took the D1 title, and then Division II. How about Honoka'a defeating Damien? Damien has been a real dynasty at the D2 level. But Honoka'a with a 3-0 win in that championship game. Josiah Napoleon Umeda pitched a shutout, 9 strikeouts. Ron Coleman, top of the order, now at the plate here for CSUN. So congratulations to Honoka'a and their head coach, Waylon Salazar.
Well, last time I was in Honoka'a, played the Hamakua golf course, 9 holes, and about 3 of them cross each other, the fairways. So you're going down one fairway, here comes a ball from another fairway crossing. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Keep your head on a swivel.
Yep.
1-2 the count here to Coleman. While we're at it, we should probably congratulate the softball champs too for Division I. Mililani, their 3rd straight state title, 5th under head coach Rose Antonio. They defeat Moanalua 9-3. Inano Bautista had 4 home runs in 3 games in the tournament. She finished the tourney hitting .688 with 12 runs batted in. Meanwhile, the Matador hitters continue to struggle here against Magdaleno. That's another strikeout. Give them 9 here in this outing.
And from the changeup.
And at the D2 level for girls softball, Pac-5 defeating Nanakuli 7-6 in another fantastic final. 2nd state title in 4 years under head coach Blake Lau for Pac-5. So congratulations to all of the Diamond Sports champs at the prep level. Here's Shimao off of the bouncer, and he is able to get Panganiban trucking up the line. And they go down in order in the top of the 6th. And so does that buy Mags yet even more time. 3-0. We'll bring you this final regular season series for Hawaii in its entirety, and it will culminate with senior night Friday. Our coverage on Spectrum Sports will begin at 6 p.m. It is going to be a lengthy senior night ceremony because there are going to be a total of 17 seniors honored.
And when the coach was saying that when he was at San Diego, you have like 4 or 5, because that means that your juniors get drafted. Well, none of these guys were, so that stacked up the senior class.
So here we go into the bottom of the 6th, and Jake Redding, he's 2 for 2. 2-run double in the first, singled in the third. And it's still Gabriel Hernandez out there on the mound here for CSUN. Gave up the 3 runs on 3 hits. None of those runs earned in the first inning. Since then, though, all zeros on the board for this Hawaii lineup. And so he has settled in. Isaiah Magdaleno has been tremendous again, as this will find its way into the seats. I think we had a nice little snag there. Let's take a look. Oh, and the fan toppling over the row.
This is not worth it, brother.
Oh, that's my.
He's okay.
Yeah. That's my good buddy Peter Boylan there. So.
Is it? Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. He gave it a good effort. You gotta love it. As Redding goes down swinging against Hernandez. You know, in Savannah Bananas baseball, that would be an out.
I was watching the entire game, Banana Ball, the other day, and you know, when that thing first started, you know, being, you know how serious I am about the game, right? So when I started watching that, I went, that's blasphemous stuff. I mean, how can you do this? This is sacrilegious. But then I started watching it. Those guys, they're pretty funny, and they're pretty talented guys to do flips and catching the ball, and they're really good fun to watch. Last week they were at Kyle Stadium, Texas A&M. 100,000 people showed up.
Yeah, crazy.
You know, I'm thinking, yeah, we ought to bring them over here to Rainbow Stadium, from Murakami Stadium.
Not big enough.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not even close. That is a bouncer up the middle, backhanded by Boardman. Long throw, not going to get there in time. Takata beats it out for the infield hit.
Well, fine play by the second baseman. Had to go a long way to his right to get rid of the ball quickly. But when you got to do that, you really got to have a gun for an arm. And he had a hard time doing it, so.
Yeah, a little bit of a bobble on the exchange, too, didn't help. But I think even a smooth transition there would have been a tough play for him. So Takata safe at first. The 1-out infield single. Noah Rodriguez comes up. He's 1 for 1 with a walk and a base knock.
Did you see what he did with his glove just then? The second baseman put his glove up and like he looked at the shortstop. That's a signal as to who's got the bag. In open mouth and closed mouth. You know, usually open mouth means I forgot actually which one, but I think you got it, I got it, and you can change.
Runner going, bouncer to short. Abel goes to second for 1, and the relay to first. Another double play here for the Matadors to end the Hawaii threat in the 6th. 51 double plays now recorded by this CSUN defense over the course of the year. Hawaii still up 3-0. Magdaleno taking things into the 7th here. Just 69 pitches overall, but look at that stat line. Through 6, 1 hit, 9 strikeouts. And so he will try to continue to keep this CSUN lineup, which has been putting up incredible offensive numbers all year, at bay. But going through the heart of the order here with the number 3 batter, Matthew Thomas. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout. And this is downstairs for a ball. How good is Matthew Thomas? Well, 2-time Big West Conference Player of the Week. Was listed as the 40th ranked player in D1 Baseball's college player rankings. Spent 2 years at Cal before heading over to Northridge. Prepped at Cypress High School, where he hit .391 for his career. 1-2 the count.
Well, you can look at his swing and say, you know that he's a good hitter just by that. He takes the pitch.
Yeah, pretty ferocious swing.
Yeah.
Two and two the count here to Thomas. Doesn't bite on that one. Count is full. It's in a few full counts here tonight. Matador hitters making Magdaleno work as much as possible, even though he has still been awfully efficient. Called strike three. Oh, Thomas had tossed the bat, ready to take his base, and instead he is rung up.
Well, I think he's been pretty consistent calling these. Looks like a pretty good pitch. I mean, is that too low? Maybe
Too close to lay off, but
that's true.
either way you slice it, that is strikeout number 10 here for Magdaleno. And he comes back against Matthew Pena and hits him. It's the second hit batter here for Mags this evening. But how about this guy and the run that he is on? And accumulating strikeouts here over his last 3 starts. He had the 16 strikeout complete game performance, the 1-hit shutout, just one of the all-time great pitching performances in Rainbow history. That was in the last time he started at home. And then last week at UC Davis, he goes 8 innings, gives up 1 run on 4 hits, strikes out 9, and here he is now working on a 1-hitter. And he has 10 Ks, and we're in the top of the 7th. And only now you start to see a little bit of activity in that Hawai'i bullpen. But Magdaleno is on some kind of run, and that was one of the big convos this week. In the couple of days preceding this series opener is, what do you do with Mags? Yeah. Short rest. Do you give him the ball? And you were pretty adamant pretty early on. Hey, if he wants it and he says he's good to go, you hand it to him.
Well, he's got 6 1/3. He's done well so far.
As mentioned, this is a Matador offense that can score in bunches. There is Mateo Rickman. He has the only hit here against Mags in this game, and that came in the 5th inning. And misses for a ball, 2-0. Over for a strike, 2-1. When paired with what he can do with that curveball and certainly that changeup, even though we talk a lot about Magdaleno's velocity, how fast can it appear to a hitter?
With the changeup?
His fastball, when paired with the changeup and the
that's the thing, you know, or a curveball. You're right. I mean, it can probably look like it's 92 when you got a change like you do, especially if you follow it, a changeup with a fastball or vice versa.
2-2 pitch. Doesn't get the call there, and we're full again.
See, the major league average fastball, 94.2 or 0.3. And that means that there are as many guys throwing 88 as there are 100, right? Being the average. So you see, he's well within that range.
First.
You know, but I go back to what we talked about earlier. Can he get somebody out? And that's what, to me, that's what a pitcher's supposed to do. And if he can do it, why not get drafted?
Yeah. 3-2 pitch. And that is ripped down the third base line, just foul.
Oh, yeah. I got the handout right here. Foul ball.
You have a good vantage point.
Yeah, I do. I'm right down the line. It's pretty close, but see, it's foul.
Oof. Oof. Mateo Rickman proving to be a tough out here. His last 2 at-bats against Isaiah Magdaleno. Another 3-2 pitch on the way. Called strike 3 again. Give him 11.
I mean, what's he looking for? Should be a fastball, and that's what he got.
Yeah, that was right down Dole Street as well. And now Colton Boardman with 2 outs and a runner at first. And it is a high bouncer to the shortstop, Takata. He's going to fire to first in time for the out. Time to stretch at the less. And the only question now is how much longer do you let Mags cook? We'll await the answer. Hawaii sitting on a 3-0 advantage. Welcome back. Well, we head into the bottom of the 7th, and the only question now, Isaiah Magdaleno, how much longer do you let him go if you are Rich Hill? He is up to 84 total pitches, but he is still looking incredibly sharp. A couple of called strike 3s in that last inning. 11 Ks total. You see 57 of the 84 pitches were strikes. And so if you're Rich Hill, here's another decision crossroads. What are you thinking? You rolling with Mags for one more?
I certainly am. I mean, he's got an average of 12 pitches an inning, which is really quite good.
Yeah, I mean, there is no indication, no sign of any sort of ill effect of pitching on shorter rest here this week.
See, the Matador has come in with really high stats on the offensive side of the ball, and so they only got 3 runs. And they got what, 70-something home runs.
Yeah, CSUN 73 home runs as a team. That's the most for the Matadors in a single season since 2002. This is Josh Martin, and he rips it right up the box for a leadoff single.
Here's another one of those situations now. You got the leadoff hitter up. I think they're going to bunt, actually. We'll see.
7th hit of the game for Hawaii.
Gabe Wright looks like he's coming in to pinch run.
That is exactly right. You are right about right.
When they first put in the re-entry rule in high school baseball, which is in the 70s, I think, I went, are you kidding me? What is this? And then all of a sudden I realized, you could have 10 guys play with the DH, and you could re-enter 10 guys. So you could get a whole lot of guys playing that you normally will. Well, here's one of them right here. I mean, you want Martin go to first base, he could re-enter for Gabe Wright.
Gabe Wright, who does have significant speed. We featured him in our pregame game-on portion of the broadcast. 7 for 8 in stolen bases. Good guy to talk to as well.
Yeah. Well-spoken man.
Yeah, smart dude. Has some designs on maybe getting into the broadcasting line of work, which is not good news for us.
No. Well, that is for me.
Yeah,
Stay away from your game.
Yeah, exactly. You are far too eloquent and good looking. We don't want you. That's not good for the job security for some of us in this business. Here is Kamana Nahaku.
Well, First base is holding the runner on. You have to, otherwise you get a big lead. So you want the bunt to go down a first base line to make the first baseman field it, or the pitcher having to come near the line to field it. Then your bunt's going to be successful.
Showing bunt early. See Panganiban creeping in from third. Pena also making a break from first base.
Well, they crashed. First and third crashed. And the second baseman started hauling over pretty soon, pretty quickly. I think you got to watch out for as he pulled the bat back and slash. There are all kinds of pukas in the field, all kinds of holes.
Check throw to first and right diving back. 1-1 count here to Nahaku. He is 0 for 2 with a run scored. Walked his last time up. Reached on an error in the first. All of the runs in this game have been scored in that bottom of the first inning. Lays down the bunt. Over is Hernandez. Makes the play to first. And so Nahaku does what he was asked to do. And he sacrifices and gets right over into scoring position.
Here comes the coach.
And now we're going to have a walk out to the mound. And this is the head guy making this trip. And Eddie Cornejo. And we could be seeing a pitching change here. No signal just yet. James Voorhees, the big right-hander, getting loose. Now we do get the signal. And that will be it for Gabriel Hernandez. Pitching change will clear things up when we come back. Line for Gabriel Hernandez, all things considered, after giving up 3 runs. Again, no earned runs in that first inning, but he settled in. 3 walks, bit of a rarity for him, but 100 total pitches, and still has a runner on base that belongs to his stat line in the form of Gabe Wright at second. And the pitcher is James Voorhees, 6'4", freshman righty, who has 5 saves. He has operated as the closer primarily for the Matadors this season.
Well, that's a pretty big kid. 6'4", 197 as a frosty.
A tall drink of water, as they say. See what he did against UC Santa Barbara in 3 2/3 innings pitched on Saturday.
Well, it's kind of bittersweet, you know. Next year they go to the Mountain West. Hawaii does, and you know, we've had some pretty good baseball teams come in here from the Big West. And every year, there was one year, I think about 3 years ago, I think, that the entire league was down a little bit. But usually we got some really good teams. I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, it's going to be different. Certainly with Hawaii moving to the Mountain West. CSUN, in essence, staying behind.
Yeah. I'll tell you what's going to be different. You know, you travel to Nevada, that's high in altitude. You travel to Air Force Academy, that's really high in altitude. That's going to be let's take some adjustment.
So here's Tate Shimao. 92-mile-an-hour pitch by Voorhees. And this is out of the zone for a ball. Shimao 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a walk. Hit into a double play. Fantastic play at third by Panganiban. That ended the inning in the 4th. Big cut there, but was behind on the 92-mile-an-hour offering. Voorhees on the mound, went to College Park High School, graduated in 2025. Is a 4-year varsity guy. Was a pitcher and a catcher. Was also the quarterback for the football team. 1-1. That is a hard grounder past the diving attempt of Abel. Rounding third and looking to score is Wright, and he will do so easily. Shimao slides into second with an RBI double. And he does it again, and Hawaii tacks one more on.
Well, the ball goes to center field. The shortstop goes out behind the bag on the green part of the outfield. Second baseman, for some reason, is heading toward first base. And I don't know why. Maybe to back up a throw or something, but you know, that's why Shimao was able to take the bag.
Where you see the wheels on Gabe Wright. Scoring easily, and Shimao coming through. And they add a little bit of extra insurance here in this bottom of the 7th inning. 4-0 Hawaii. Ben Ziegler-Namoa now the batter. BZN 1 for 3 with a double, a run scored, and a couple of flyouts.
Well, you ask about Magdaleno. I mean, after 7 innings, he's given up 1 hit. I think he goes out, and another clue is that I look over in the bullpen and there's nobody warming up. So I figure he's going to go out one more time. But now, complete game, that's another story. We'll see.
Yeah, it would depend certainly on how the 8th inning goes, but you're right. I mean, they are just chilling in the bullpen right now. It's more or less what the scene has been like here in the last couple of weeks when Magdaleno's been the starter. It's a nice looking bender there, finds the zone. 2-2 now the count here to Ziegler-Namoa. Two. And that is hit foul, left of third. Had a good crack there that resonated through the less.
Rich Hill kind of backed away from that. That's coming too quickly for a 65-year-old man. I don't blame him one bit. In the young days, you try to catch those. Old days, nah.
Swing and a miss. And BZN goes down on strikes. So 2 outs here in this bottom of the 7th. There was a bit of a funny exchange between Rich Hill and Eddie Cornejo. Cornejo, a bit of a younger head coach, right? And Rich Hill's been there, done that. And he asked Eddie, he's like, how old are you? And Eddie smiled and said, 43.
Yeah.
And Rich Hill said, you are a pup.
Right.
Here's Mauna Kong.
Well, I mean, I've known Rich for about 30 years. So, yeah, he's been around a long time.
Yeah, I didn't realize until he had said so during that conversation that his first head coaching job was basically when he was 25 years old. He was hired at 24. He won the count here to Mauna Kong. He is 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice and scored in the first, and then a couple of ground outs since then.
He called me, he says, hey, I'm coming over. Okay, let's go to lunch. Sure. But it's got to be late on Thursday. I go, why? He goes, because I'm going surfing.
Yeah.
Where are you going to surf? North Shore. So I go, oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
You got to be a veteran to go out there.
Well, he's embedded himself with the right people as well, because you sort of have to have that support when you're going out into those breaks. Here's the 2-1. Over for strike 2. How about this battle of freshmen right now? You have the 6'4" Voorhees and the 6'6" Mauna Kong.
Couple of big dudes.
2-2 pitch. And that's going to be a called strike 3. So Voorhees gives up the RBI double to Tate Shimao, but he comes back, gets a couple of Ks to end the 7th. Hawaii adds to it, though. It's 4-0 as we head to inning number 8. Now for the Hawaii Honda dealers highlight reel. And Isaiah Magdaleno has put together another highlight-laden performance here against one of the top offenses in the Big West Conference. And he has mowed them down to the tune of 11 strikeouts. He is now up to 84 pitches and takes this start into the 8th inning. Facing the bottom of the CSUN order, Trent Abel at the plate. And that curveball misses inside for ball 1. So Magdaleno, that was one of the big headlines, pitching on short rest. You know, you get into that rhythm, especially throughout the Big West season, where it is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're the #1 Friday night starter, and you have those 7 days of rest throughout. You change that cadence, and it can impact a guy. Mags has not shown any of that ill effect, not in the least, as a matter of fact.
Well, you know, I mentioned that I think they may start getting a couple of guys ready in the bullpen, maybe a lefty and a righty, just in case.
Oh, look at a timeout, so a little bit of a wasted pitch there for Magdaleno.
And not that they're going to take him out. Let's say he gets through this inning unscathed. Not that they're going to take him out next inning, but just have a couple of guys ready in case you do have to take him out.
One-two pitch to Abel. That's strikeout number 12. This guy is on another level. Defensive shifts for Hawaii. Ben Ziegler-Namoa moving over to first base from right, and Gabe Wright taking over in right. Here's Will Lindbergh. He's 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts. He tries to lay down a bunt, unable to do so.
You know, that's pretty good baseball right there. When you got a one-hitter, your team has come up with one hit, you're in the top of the 8th inning. Why not try to bunt to get on? Third baseman is playing, you know, maybe a step behind third base bag. Good idea.
And that is a roller up the line. BZN will do it himself. 2 down. I mean, I don't think it can be understated. This is a CSUN team that, yes, they have gone through a little bit of the inconsistency, certainly in the wins and loss columns. But this is a team that leads the Big West Conference in home runs, runs batted in, and slugging percentage. They're second in the league in batting average, as well as hits, doubles, and total bases. I mean, they are one of the best offensive teams in this conference. And so it adds to what Isaiah Magdaleno is accomplishing here, beyond just the fact that he's pitching on short rest.
Oh, we're going to get a pinch hitter.
And it's going to be Cameron Calvillo, 5'10", 190-pound senior from Castro Valley, California. Batting in place of Jae-hee Lee, bottom of the order. Calvillo has done here this season. 13 of 72 at the plate with a double. He also has 3 home runs, 8 runs batted in. He has scored 7 times.
And by the way, that's a nice looking V on their cap.
Representing San Fernando Valley, as mentioned earlier in the game. CSUN, formerly known as San Fernando Valley State. They've been the Matadors since then. I mean, going back all the way to the 50s. Oh, 1 pitch. And they're trying to frame that one up on the outside. Just narrowly misses for a ball. Crowd wanted it. And you can kind of feel the crowd getting a little bit more engaged here as they are realizing yet another gem that they are witnessing here from this guy who has just been brilliant here in his last now 3 starts. It was 2 weeks ago in this stadium, a little under 2 weeks ago, as a matter of fact, and he took a perfect game into the 7th, took a no-hitter into the 9th, recorded 16 strikeouts. It ended up being a complete game, 1 hitter. And here he is, sitting on a 1 hitter at the moment with 12 Ks. And a 2-2 pitch coming to Calvillo. Strike 3. Magnificent Magdaleno on display once again here in front of the fans at the Les. Give him 13 Ks, 4-0 Hawaii. A similar situation here. Isaiah Magdaleno not working on a no-hitter into the 9th or anything like that, but so locked in that once again sort of left to his own devices in the dugout. A little bit of a conversation with a couple of guys in passing, but what had transpired the last time that he was in this kind of position, dialed in his last home start as Xavier Rios takes over behind home plate defensively for CSUN. He had a couple of his teammates that were sort of serving as his bodyguards. They were kind of warding off some of the other would-be attention and some of the other guys who would maybe try to engage with Isaiah Magdaleno. They wanted him to just be free to sit there in his thoughts and stay in that proverbial zone. Draven Nushida, the batter. And it's a 2-0 count facing James Voorhees, who entered the game out of the bullpen in that 7th inning. Promptly gave up an RBI double to Taichi Mao. That run was charged to starter Gabriel Hernandez. And it's a 4-0 advantage here for Hawaii. Bottom of the 8th. The storyline once again. The golden arm of Isaiah Magdaleno. And foul back. 2-2 now the count. And you have to start thinking in pretty hyperbolic terms about how Magdaleno is finishing this regular season. And Yoshida swings through it. Throw up the line. Makes it official. That's the 3rd straight strikeout here for Voorhees. And that's going to bring up Jake Redding. Redding having a good night. 2 for 3. 2-run double in the 1st. Singled in the 3rd. He struck out against Hernandez his last time up in the 6th. And again, Hawaii in need of just one win. One win gets them into the postseason. And then, of course, there are some other seeding movements that can take place depending on how things play out in this series as well as elsewhere. A victory would get them in and would effectively eliminate the Matadors from postseason play. So Mags at 95 pitches, Coach. I'd imagine we're going to see him come out for the 9th.
I do, and nobody's warming up in the bullpen. So yeah, I definitely think he'll be out there.
And 2 to count here to Jake Redding.
Of course, the communication from maybe from the 7th inning on is, how do you feel? You know, from Coach Zuniga. Hey, how do you feel, Mags? And he'll tell him the truth.
High pop fly into shallow left. And Thomas makes the play for out number 2.
That ball is hit so high that Redding was about 2 or 3 steps from second base.
Here's Taylor Takata. He's 1 for 3, reached on an infield hit his last time up in the 6th. So again, that's another subplot here. We haven't been in a situation where Rich Hill has had to give this any consideration yet, but Elijah Iquez is said to be available in some capacity to make his return here this week, and on the verge, according to Rich Hill, of being fully cleared. And so it might be one of those situations where they wait until he gets cleared, maybe just get him a little bit of run in a game to put him in a position where he can contribute possibly if they get to a postseason next week.
After all the time he's been out. Very difficult to come right in, to step in, face a 90-mile-an-hour fastball with actually no activity for, what, 3 weeks maybe?
Been out since April 2nd.
Wow,
so longer than that. Yeah, we're talking
5 weeks.
5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And Taylor Takata has played well. I mean, I think based on the circumstances and what he had to inherit as far as his role and responsibility, he has been tremendous.
I think so too. I even told him tonight, I said, hey, you're doing really good, bro. Or I should say, you're doing really well. This is off the baseball subject, but grammar, further and farther. I tell you what, every week you're going to hear somebody make a mistake.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Farther is the description of distance. Further is more degrees.
It is degree, yeah. For example, under further review, that baseball was hit farther than we originally thought.
Yes, that's right. I had to give further thought to exactly how much farther that ball was hit.
That's right, yeah.
Here's the 1-2.
This kid can bring it.
Yeah, 4 strikeouts here for Voorhees. But we head to the 9th. And a chance for Mags to add another CG to the ledger. Onto the mound, pitching into the 9th, Isaiah Magdaleno. There were some questions and uncertainties about whether or not Rich Hill would give him the ball here on night 1 of this series on short rest. But it has paid off, the decision to let him go. 96 total pitches, the official number here, as he now faces the top of the order. Bouncer to short, Takata to first, 1 down and 2 more to go. Just 1 complete game has been thrown by Hawaii pitching this year, and it was by this guy, number 26, the last time he had a start in this stadium.
And it's a relatively close game. I mean, four runs. So it's huge to get the first out of the last inning, which they just did on 1 pitch.
So here is Kyle Panganiban, the third baseman.
Well, you can tell by the way they swing the bat that these guys can hit. Just having one of those nights where they're facing a buzzsaw like Magdaleno.
Oh, 2 now the count. And you have to start thinking in hyperbolic terms about what this guy is doing here to close this regular season, Coach.
Well, if I could figure out what hyperbolic means, I can maybe give you a hand.
Here is the 0-2 coming. Strike 3. Give him 14 Ks. And CSUN is down to its final out. Last 2 home starts for Isaiah Magdaleno. To this point, he has now recorded 30 strikeouts and given up 2 hits with his parents in the house. It is Matthew Thomas. Swung on and missed.
That is so cool.
Mom Myrna, Dad Anthony. How proud are they right now? 0-1. It's a bouncer to short. Takata coming in, the throw. And another masterpiece delivered by Isaiah Magdaleno, who has been a tour de force to close this 2026 Big West regular season. A complete game, 1 hit, 14 strikeout beauty. And Hawaii wins it 4-0, and they punch a ticket to the Big West postseason. How do you start to describe what we are seeing here from this guy, Coach? Isaiah Magdaleno.
You know, he's been the guy all year And especially when the chips are down at the end of the season, he's come through flying colors.
Bank of Hawaii presents the players of the game. Pretty sure we know who's going to get it on the Hawaii side. We actually got a pretty darn good pitching performance from Gabriel Hernandez, the starter for CSUN as well. Scattered 7 hits, gave up 4 runs, just one of them earned 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. But obviously outshined by another amazing display. Isaiah Magdaleno. A complete game, 1 hitter, 14 Ks, no walks. This guy is in his bag right now. And he is tattooing his name in the pantheon of some of the great pitchers we have seen wearing Rainbow Warrior uniforms with the way he is closing this season. Mom loves it. Dad digs it. And Hawaii will play on into the postseason, which means that we are likely to see that guy take the mound at least one more time here as a Rainbow Warrior this year. Once again, the final score 4-0. Don't forget about the post-game show. They got another Magdaleno gem to break down. That's going to be a lot of fun. Hawaii gets the win it needed to qualify for the Big West postseason. For now, for Pal Eldridge, I'm Kanoa Leahy on behalf of the rest of our Spectrum Sports crew. Hope you enjoyed it. The fans here most certainly did. We did as well. See you tomorrow. Aloha from Manoa.